Okay, I'm going to walk through the installation of pfsense completely from scratch. So let's go ahead and do new. I'm going to call this pfsense 2. Keeping it in my same location. The type is BSD. And I believe it's 64 bits. I haven't actually checked to verify that. And next. Go to default settings. Okay, now before I start it up, it needs something to boot from. So settings, storage, CD, and browse to the pfsense on a network share. I believe I have connected to that share already. There it is. pfsense. There's the ISO. Okay. Make sure to connect live CD. And okay. And let's boot her up. Oh, before I forget, I forgot one thing here. Make sure here in the file host network manager that your host only interface does not have DHCP enabled. And I'm just going to experiment with this. I've already done this once. I'm going to create another host adapter just for fun. And let's see what the Virtualbox calls it. I am using Virtualbox 2.0. Oh, look at that. It remembers the settings. Notice it has a different IPv4 address. That'll be interesting to see. I'm going to leave that no DHCP server running and close. Alright, so now I'll go to my pfsense option. Before I boot it up, I wanted to see those networks. And you can't change this when it's powered up. So first adapter, I want to be on the local network. And then adapter 2, I want to enable and choose it to be connected to my host only adapter. And let's see if it gives me a choice. Now it sees those two adapters. I'm going to use the second one just for fun. And now, okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and boot it up. And it will start begin the installation. Okay, there we go. I have installed the latest extensions as well. It's part of the standard Virtualbox install. You install Virtualbox and you download and install the latest extensions. It will remind you of that also when you start up a newer version. At least for me, every time I start it, it will check to see if there's a newer extensions available and a newer Virtualbox available. Okay, running through the boot up. Okay, then I'll go ahead and click there to capture my keyboard, accept settings, install, okay, continue, guided, and going to the installation onto that 16 gig drive, pulling the files out of that ISO, use it as though it were a CD installed in the system. Very easy to burn a CD and install it on an old PC. All you need if you want to actually have a physical firewall is take an old PC that has 2 network cards and install it. Now I am going to do yes here, not the default, because I want to do a shutdown. If you just say no now, it'll do immediate restart, not giving me a chance to remove the CD. So I'm saying yes, go to the shell. And in the shell, I'm going to do shutdown -H, meaning halt, and do it immediately with the word now. Now it will halt it. Okay, now I don't want to press any keys yet. I want to come back to Virtualbox. Oh, I hit the right control key to stop me having my mouse captured. come over to here, go to his settings, go to his storage, click on the CD, come over here and remove disk from virtual drive. And OK. Now he's ready to reboot, and I will go back to that window, waiting for my key. Okay, now I can click capturing my mouse and enter. Now booting up. He should, in some basic settings in here, you should see 2 network devices. They're virtual devices. And it's just about, I can just about go with the default settings. So how long was that install? What, a couple minutes? I have a working pfSense. Just a few more steps and it's actually a working firewall. If you did this on an old PC with 2 network cards, it could actually act as your firewall. This is such an easy install that for a while there we didn't even, since we hadn't configured it very much, we didn't even have a backup. We were able to bring up a firewall, grab a new machine if one had crashed, and within 10 minutes have a firewall working. Okay, now you see our interfaces here. My mouse button, there it is. Our interfaces are, let's do the right control so you can see my pointer here. There's our WAN interface, and by default it's choosing EM0. It's being auto-assigned, and I can tell I'm on the student network. I get the 172.16.0.141 address. This is my local host only. It's self-assigned, I believe. We want to put it in the, we want to make this firewall actually be a DHCP server assigning addresses on that host only network. So our Ubuntu system will have it. But we can also do this. Let's come over here and let's take a look in a command prompt on this PC. Let's see what it has for those host only adapters. Notice we see this address on my host only adapter, and that's this PC having that address. Let's go ahead and we'll assign addresses within this same range. The nice thing about that, then this PC can actually view the LAN and actually bring up the web page to the pfSense machine. So it gives me not only from the Ubuntu, which will be connected to that virtual network, but I also can connect to it directly from here. So remember those numbers, 192.168.254. So we'll put our LAN address in that same range. So we'll come back to here, capturing the keyboard. Let's go ahead and set interface IP address. So I want to adjust the LAN IP address. So it's going to be 192.168. Uh-oh, what was that again? Come back to this, and I see the address 254.1. Okay. Yeah. 254. We don't want to take the 1 address. Let's go ahead and take the 2 address of that same network. And see, we have 24 addresses, 24 bits here. We want to have the same number of bits here. Remember, the right control is how to get back to the non-cap key strokes. And so we put 24 here for my subnet mask. I'm done. This is the LAN. I don't care about IPv6. And yes, I am going to enable DHCP. We will be providing DHCP to PCs that request it, such as the Ubuntu system. Okay? The start address will be 192.168.254.100. And let's make 50 of them. 192.168.254. 254.150 will be our ending address. So I'm establishing a pool from 100 to 150. And yes, I'm going to allow HTTP in here, but it's good to do this at the start in case there's any problems with any security certificates. Alright, so now it's set up. At this point, before I even have my Ubuntu system on that virtual network, I can browse to my pfSense. I should be able to browse to that. So let's give it a try. Let's see if we can visit that address in my browser here on the host Windows system. And this will tell us whether our firewall is ready. Okay, here we go. 192.168.254.2. Remember, the host virtual host adapter has that address on this side, or has the one address, and I have assigned myself a 2. Let's see what happens. Look at that. I get pfSense. Default login pfSense. Sorry, admin and then password pfSense. Sorry, admin and password pfSense. All lowercase. Okay, I've never saved passwords. I'm going to ignore that message for now, leave it at the default password. And at this point, what we're going to eventually be doing in pfSense is coming and adding services. But before that, let's just check that our firewall is working. Easy way to check, click on that icon there. That will take me to the main configuration site. The main configuration of this pfSense. Thought it would bring it up. There we go. Accepting that license. And why it's taking so long. So it shows you. Oh, there we go. Got it. Clicking on that. Don't understand. You should not captured by some other machine. Oh. Well, my network connection having issues. I'm going to pause it till I figure this out. But you can see the pfSense did respond. That connection came back. Let's try it again. There we go. Okay, so we have pfSense. We can see the release before setting up anything. One thing I'm going to do is click on this update that I see available, 2442. That version was 244. Let's go ahead and just do the update. Yes, I do want to do the update. I don't think you can automate the automatic updates of pfSense, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's an option somewhere. And it goes very smoothly. Let's see if this one goes smoothly for us. Very impressed with the stability of pfSense. Okay, while it's rebooting, I'm going to go over to my Virtualbox and let's fire up the Ubuntu, but first set him to be connected on his network side. He only has one network card. Let's change him to be the host-only adapter for this pfSense. So if you had it, and you can always switch back to going bridged. Right now I'm going to say, basically I'm telling this Ubuntu, he is basically using that second pfSense as its firewall. And it is acting as a DHCP server, so if I boot this up, it should have an address 192.168.254.100 if everything is working. So let's go ahead and fire him up. Oh, well, just before I forget, we want to give him as little memory as we think we need. I could probably get by with less than 2 gig, but I'm going to go with 2 gig because I know I have had it working without a problem. Alright, now fire him up. He should get a 192.168.254 address, and if he does, we know he's at least getting an address assigned. Then the next test will be, can he ping to a website? If he can, then we know that the firewall is working. So Ubuntu fires up. Now this could be any Ubuntu system already that we know is working. I'm not going to go through the initial install of Ubuntu. That's something up to you to do. You can use the appliance provided, or you can do your own install of Ubuntu. And you don't even have to use Ubuntu. You can use something lighter like Puppy Linux or Lubuntu. I've used the OVA, and we'll log in here. As we log in, we want to bring up terminal on their Ubuntu. Okay, fires up. Now this should work decently because it's really not a heavy load on the firewall because we only have one virtual machine using it as a firewall. Here you come. We have terminal, click on applications, and start typing TERM, terminal, hit enter. Now let's view our address. I could come up here, or I could just under here in Ubuntu IP base address. And what do I see for an address? Look at there, 192.168.254.100. Okay, so I can tell DHCP has been assigned, and let's ping a meaningful website out there. If I get a ping, he is getting DHCP settings for both address and DNS. Control C to end the ping. At this point, I know my Ubuntu is successfully going through the firewall, and I'll do a standard thing on Ubuntu. Let's do a sudo apt update -y. Oh, we had some error has been popping up. Oh, went away. I'm ignoring them. Okay, the update -y. Oop, I spelled things right. APT. And because I do this regularly, it has been only a few days, I'm not expecting to see many updates. Oh, 11 packets can be upgraded. Let's go ahead and do the upgrade. sudo upgrade -y. That means not only do you get the updated list of things available, but let's go ahead and upgrade the things that are available for upgrade. Alright, while he's doing that, I'm going to go back to my pfsense. Oh, not there. I'm going to go back to the pfsense in the browser and log in here. Remember, he rebooted because I had updated him. Now, it's acting as a firewall, but what we want to do is add services. We're going to add wait a minute here. No, sorry. System packages. I'm going to add packages. Never mind. They're services once they're installed. They're available packages that I can install them. So services are things installed that I can adjust. And so we're going to zip down here, or you could do a search for. Let's just do that. Let's do a Control S, search for, or Control F, search, not there, sorry, not Control F. Control S. Try Control F. There. Control F, search for IDS. Let's just see what IDSs are available in the list of packages. This is the one we're going to install. There's Snort. And there's one other, I believe, Suricata that comes up. So these are the two packages. And look how easy it is to install them. Find the package available. It sees the version. let's just go install, confirm. Now it doesn't mean it's working. It just means it's a service ready for me to enable. And might as well, I feel like installing Suricata too once this is done. It says success. Once I see that, I can go to other available packages. And let's search for another package. Let's search for that Control F IDS. And let's go ahead and do an install of Suricata. We're going to play with Snort at first. But this is so easy. Look at that. We just go to Package Installer, say yes, go find it. It finds it, resolves any dependencies, and does the installation. Making it so easy for me now to actually experiment with a industrial strength IDS. Anytime it needs to reboot, it'll tell us. Now, to know whether or not it's actually there, ready for me to adjust or configure, I come over here. After confirming, it sees it packages installed now. There's the 2 installed packages. Now I can come over to this menu. Now under Services, I'll get this to open. Come on. There we go, Services. Now it will be listed under Services. Drop down. There I see the 2 services available for me to configure because I installed these as packages. So for Snort as a package, the first thing I do to get Snort to work is I have to tell Snort what interface to actually watch for messages on. Initially it comes up not watching any interface. So I click Add, and I choose, the default WAN interface. Go ahead with all the default settings, except I do want to see when it does send an alert because I want to know if it's working. I'm going to choose send alerts to a log. The other things you can browse through, start getting familiar with these settings. Don't worry about setting them. You just want to go with the default settings right now, but be aware of what they are. Okay, saving the settings. And now Snort isn't running yet. It is started by just clicking here. One thing I haven't done yet though is tell it to go get some rules. Let's go see what we can do for updates. See right now it's not getting any rule sets installed, so it's running without any rules, basically meaning let everything through. So we can come down here to configure our global settings. And now we can enable some of the free rules. If I want to actually get Snort rules, I have to go log in and register on the snort.org website, and they'll give you what they call an OINC master code. I will go get mine. I'm going to go ahead and get these. These are free. And if you ever, when you go to save, if you've enabled something that you can't do or you need to have additional configuration, it'll tell you. And this one requires me to have an account, and I don't recall that one being free. Let's go ahead and get that one. Alright, anything that's free, I'm going to go for. Okay, I should update the rules occasionally. I'm going to go for the everyday. Now, in a real system, you probably do a lot more often. Okay, I'll go with the default settings here unless I see a good reason to. And let's go ahead and do a save. See if it complains about anything. Uh-oh. It won't let you get the Snort VRTs without an OINC code. So I'm going to disable that for now. I'll come back later. In my documentation, I've already shown you my oink code, but I want you to get your own. Okay, now he didn't complain that time when I did a save. So now I can go back to Snort Interfaces. Or no, I can come back here. Now he knows where to get rules. Now I need to tell him, since I've told you you can get rules from somewhere, let's go ahead and do update rules and see what happens. Now that, remember in global settings, he told it what rules to go get. Now that I've told him force an update or update rules, it should do it for me. And if it doesn't happen, I will, there we go. See, we have hashes of the rules. Notice here, until I get an oink code installed, it's not getting the Snort subscriber rule set. And I don't know about the quality of these other rule sets. I'm just assuming they're a good set of rules. They're recent. Now, if I generate some traffic, I go back to alerts. If I actually generate some traffic that trips a rule, I will see that show up in alerts. But right now, how much traffic are we generating? We're one little Ubuntu system that's not doing any browsing. Oh, sorry, this guy. I'm one little Ubuntu system here. What kind of browsing am I doing? What kind of traffic am I generating? Maybe let's go generate some traffic. Maybe we can go break a rule. We'll visit a suspicious site. I don't know one of any offhand, but I suppose I could look for something on the dark web and maybe trip a SID rule. Uh-oh. Try this. Oh, it's time to recover pages. I don't care about recovering pages. Okay, I can tell my firewall is working. Let's search for evil things. Could that possibly trip a rule? I doubt it. Brings up some TV show about evil things. But as I would browse the pages, perhaps I can come across a page that has an actual security breach. Let's just try this. How about site test Snort Rules? This guy tells of a way to do it by writing a rule. Maybe I could just visit a site that will try to confirm my snort. We're going to also use Scapy. That's a way to generate packets with certain content that I can test. Well, none of these I don't think are going to test my rules. It'd be cool if I just could click on a button that would cause certain packets already known to be blocked in Snort. Not much there. Well, I have generated some traffic, so I can go back to my firewall. Not that. I want to go back to here on the firewall. I can actually view how much traffic has been generated. No alerts have been triggered by my tiny amount of activity, but I can always go to status and see traffic graphs. One of the favorite things to view on pfsense. It shows you your WAN traffic over time, and you can decide how fine this graph goes. If it's daily or weekly or monthly, you can set your settings in your graph. Alright, I think that's enough to show you right now. Going from nothing to a working pfsense. Spend enough time. That's 30 minutes already. I was having so much fun.